A violent start to the new year. A car bomb explodes in Israel. Yasser Arafat heads to Washington for emergency peace talks. The world premiere of 2001. Not the movie, the real thing. In this new century, fears that robots are getting too smart for our own good. And some slide in, others sled in the new year.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
And good evening. Dan is off tonight. I'm John Roberts. This new year is beginning with an all too familiar story: violence in the Middle East. Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat is heading to Washington tonight for an emergency meeting with President Clinton, a meeting that Arafat's spokesman says could be decisive for the peace process. Peace efforts are hanging by a thread after a car bomb today rocked the Israeli coastal town of Netanya, injuring dozens, and Israel threatened retaliation. CBS News correspondent David Hawkins has the latest.
Witnesses said they heard up to 4 explosions as the bombs went off inside a car parked on a busy street in the Israeli town of Netanya. Although at least 30 people were hurt, Israeli officials say only one man was critically injured and that he may be the bomber. The car bomb attack came as Palestinians celebrated the 36th anniversary of the founding of Yasser Arafat's Fatah movement. To mark the day, leaders of the movement called for an escalation of attacks against Israeli soldiers and settlers in the Palestinian territories. As Israeli and Palestinian leaders consider a U.S. peace proposal, militants on both sides of this conflict are fanning the flames of revenge. In response to recent Palestinian ambushes on Israeli cars in the West Bank, right-wing Jewish settlers say they will now take matters into their own hands.
We decided that we just can't keep quiet anymore. We have to stand up and say, enough. We won't take this anymore.
Today, settler vigilantes shot and killed a 22-year-old Palestinian man in a raid on an Arab village near Jerusalem. There were 3 other funerals for Palestinians killed by Israeli soldiers, including that of a 10-year-old boy in the West Bank town of Hebron. Also in Hebron, Israeli soldiers shot and seriously wounded an unarmed Palestinian man as he approached a checkpoint. The Israeli army is investigating the incident. The increasing violence is undermining attempts to reach a peace deal before President Clinton leaves office in less than 3 weeks. Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak has backed off his earlier commitment to a U.S. proposal, saying Israel will not concede sovereignty of the Temple Mount, the Jerusalem holy site Arabs call the Noble Sanctuary. And after a phone conversation with President Clinton today, Yasser Arafat said Palestinians cannot accept the American peace plan. But while Yasser Arafat hasn't said yes, he hasn't exactly said no either. Before he gives President Clinton a direct answer, he's got a few questions of his own. John?
David Hawkins in Tel Aviv, thanks. Tragedy in the Netherlands when holiday decorations burst into flames at a New Year's Eve party. Hundreds of young revelers packed the 3-story bar when the fire broke out. Many jumped from windows, but at least 8 people died. More than 180 partygoers were hurt, at least 15 of them critically. The mayor said all but one of the exits were blocked. In this country, President-elect Bush left his ranch and headed to Austin today for more transition work. He'll consider his picks for 3 remaining cabinet secretaries and get ready for meetings later this week with his economic advisors and industry leaders. Also today, it wasn't exactly a legal opinion, but Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, William Rehnquist, did offer some rare personal insight into the High Court's ruling that sealed the presidency for Bush. In a dramatic departure from the usual tone of his report to Congress, Chief Justice Rehnquist today declared his wish that the Supreme Court never again have to decide a presidential election. This presidential election, he wrote, tested our constitutional system in ways it has never been tested before. The Florida state courts, the lower federal courts, and the Supreme Court became involved in a way that one hopes will seldom, if ever, be necessary in the future. Legal scholars believe that Rehnquist is still stinging from public criticism of the court's 5-4 decision to stop the hand count in Florida. Rehnquist made no attempt to defend the ruling, but did say that despite the seesaw aftermath of the presidential election, we are once again witnessing an orderly transition of power from one presidential administration to another. The transition from 2000 to 2001 went smoothly around the world. CBS News correspondent Thalia Ashiris reports on the first day of the new century.
In his first Mass of the new year, Pope John Paul II prayed for an end to the strife in the Middle East and urged Israelis and Palestinians to follow the path of dialogue. Nearby, prayers turned to cheers with a daring tumble into Rome's chilly Tiber River. Across the Atlantic, the traditional New Year's Day plunge of the Polar Bear Club into the frigid waters off New York's Coney Island. January 1st, 2001 was brought in with a splash and plenty of pageantry. Pasadena's 112th Tournament of Roses parade, cloaked in bright sunshine and balmy temperatures, celebrated the fabric of America. Philadelphia celebrated not only the new year, but the centennial of its admittedly weird and whimsical Mummers Parade. From the cold holiday slopes of the east to the warm beaches of Los Angeles in the west, some are starting the new millennium resolving
and have a great year, even if George Bush is the president.
Go to the gym daily, no, weekly, maybe monthly.
To have more charity, be more happy and kind to those around me.
There were political milestones today. Britain, burdened with Europe's highest teen pregnancy rate, made the controversial morning after pill available without prescription to girls as young as 16. California ushers in a new gun safety law, which makes handguns that don't pass a safety test illegal. From old to new around the world, revelers danced and cheered against a backdrop of fireworks and music in Sydney, Moscow, Paris. In Malaysia, 15 parachutists dove simultaneously from the world's tallest skyscrapers, launching in 2000, landing in 2001.
The most incredible thing I've ever done in my life.
Back at home, Las Vegas boasted the biggest fireworks display, more than making up for doing without last year because of Y2K concerns. And revelers in New York's Times Square looked up to a champion to release the crystal ball that launched a new, hopefully happy year.
There were about 700,000 people here in Times Square last night. That's about half the crowd that was here for the big Millennium Party last year. Of course, purists will tell you this year, 2001, is the true beginning of the new millennium. John?
Thalia Ashiris in New York City, thanks. Tonight's Eye on America is 2001, a cyberspace age odyssey. In the famous movie 2001, an artificial intelligence computer named HAL turns paranoid and then homicidal. So on this very first day of 2001, what are the real prospects for robotic intelligence with a bad attitude? Jim Stewart has the story, no assembly required and batteries included.
Cute toy.
Don't be fooled by the cute ears and batting eyelashes. The robot doesn't even know he has them. Scientists at MIT's Artificial Intelligence Lab added them for fun while they teach the thing to read human emotions. Are you all right? The robot asked. But truth be known, it doesn't give a good gigabyte whether you're all right or not. It's just a machine. And as we rapidly approach a time when man can build machines even smarter than he is, more and more scientists are warning that things could get out of hand in this strange relationship, and none have said it louder than Bill Joy, co-founder and chief scientist of Sun Microsystems.
If you create a more intelligent species, we don't know how it would treat us. It could get out of control and decide that we're a pet, essentially.
Joy's apocalyptic warning came in this recent magazine article, which is already being compared to Albert Einstein's warning years before the fact that man was on the verge of making the atomic bomb. Essentially, Joy argues that faster computers, the deciphering of the human gene, and a new micro-sized science called nanotechnology, which creates atom-sized machines that can perform giant-sized tasks, may all converge to create a science beyond our control.
We may well lose control of the process, and some people would argue that we already have.
We put the brain in here, we put the...
The evidence is growing. This fall, researchers at Brandeis unveil machines designed and built by a computer. Earlier last year, scientists at the University of Texas succeeded in integrating living molecules with inorganic matter.
We know which proteins specifically bound to the semiconductor material.
It raises the possibility of computers that are part animal, part machine. Future models may start out small, no bigger than machine-like amoeba that doctors already suggest could be injected into patients to eat away the fat in their arteries. Later, bigger models will more likely resemble that with which we're most comfortable ourselves. Until finally, we produce a robot that can replicate itself without any instruction, a true new species of life form. There are some who believe that Bill Joy is confusing this science fiction with a less fearful future, but others are not so sure. Dr. Gary Harris is a nanotechnician at Howard University.
Do you think 10, 15 years from now, Bill Joy will be proven right, that we will have built something in one of these machines of yours that could turn around and get us?
God help us. I hope not. But, I mean, there's a possibility that could happen.
Von Neumann said, you know, if man can do it, he will. Therefore, if he can destroy himself, he will. And which is a pretty dim prospect. I'm not as negative as he is.
Maybe, just maybe, Joy suggests, we can teach these things over time to actually like us. In New York, this is Jim Stewart for Eye on America.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, snow shows up in some unlikely places this New Year's Day. And later, allegations there are still a lot more dangerous Firestone tires on the road.
What should you do if you're having a heart attack? First, call an ambulance, then take Bayer aspirin. Now Bayer may help stop you from dying when taken during a heart attack. Talk to your doctor now. Bayer. Take it for pain, take it for life.
It beat the S&P 500 for 1 year, for 3 years, and over the life of the fund. The Strong Growth and Income Fund. Call 1-888-2-STRONG. You're one call away from a strong portfolio.
Oh. Can't sleep, honey? What's the matter? Oh, heartburn. I know just what you need.
Introducing new Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief. Faster than Pepcid, Zantac, or even the leading prescription. Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief. Cool, effervescent, specially formulated to put out the fire of heartburn fast.
Better, dear.
New Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief. Nothing puts out the fire faster.
Sometimes you want them to be perfectly pressed. But for the other 95% of their lives, there's new Downy Wrinkle Releaser. Just spray it on, tug on the fabric, and smooth out the wrinkles for all their school clothes. T-shirts, jeans, sweaters, whatever. Just spray, tug, and smooth. It's the casual press for casual dress. New Downy Wrinkle Releaser.
In some parts of the country today, they were still raising snow shovels instead of glasses to usher in the new year. This included yet another helping of southern fried nerves after the latest fast freeze reached deep down into the Sun Belt. Bobby Harley has the cold, hard facts on the CBS Weather Watch.
Forecasters called it a one-night wonder. Rare snowfall that blanketed the southeast, making the Independence Bowl played in Shreveport, Louisiana, look more like the Snow Bowl. College athletes defied the elements, while slippery streets got the best of some weekend wannabes in Birmingham, Alabama. The deep freeze turned berries into ice in Tampa and made skis the best way to get around in Chattanooga. Although this brave soul used them on the water, which turned out to be safer than the roads. As much as 4 inches of snow fell in places that only see an inch or two every 5 or so years. In Tennessee, authorities advised motorists to slow down. Better yet, to stay home.
The interstates are drivable, but usually 1 to 2 lanes are open is all that are basically passable.
Well, it is very unusual to have the snow as far south as the Gulf Coast states.
Unusual most years, but in the last few weeks, freezing temperatures have visited the South a handful of times. For thousands in Arkansas, power workers have only just put the lights back on since an ice storm knocked down the lines a week ago. And more good news may be on the way.
The pattern is going to be changing, and the southeast will go back to a more average temperatures for the winter.
But not before a few more frozen forecasts. There will be more snow tonight in Alabama and another freeze warning here in Florida. Bobby Harley, CBS News, Miami.
Colleagues remembered former Senator Alan Cranston of California today as a champion of nuclear arms control all through his 24 years in the Senate. Cranston did not seek a fifth Senate term in 1992 because of prostate cancer, but was also under fire for ties to a central figure in a savings and loan industry scandal. He sought the Democratic presidential nomination once and lost. Alan Cranston died at home yesterday in California at the age of 86. Next up on the CBS Evening News, a consumer group ups the pressure on Firestone to pull more tires off the road. This time, the number is staggering.
Look at that. Staples has overnight delivery.
Slow down, let me see.
Wow, it's free. Hey, look.
Guaranteed low prices. Slow down. Staples delivers.
And you can order online. This traffic's terrible.
Yep, like this every single day.
That's really weird.
Need office products delivered overnight? Yeah, you've got that. Call 1-800-STAPLES.
Our new leaders in Washington will surround themselves with top advisors. Shouldn't you? Move your money. Get well connected.
There's a new prescription treatment called Remicade that could change your life by giving you lasting relief from the pain and stiffness of rheumatoid arthritis. Your doctor may add Remicade if you are on methotrexate already and not responding well. You take 1 dose of Remicade every 8 weeks after the first 3 doses. Of course, Remicade is not for everyone. Serious infections requiring hospitalization have been reported. If you are prone to or have a history of infections, currently have one, or develop one while taking Remicade, tell your doctor right away. There's a risk of serious infusion reactions with hives, difficulty breathing, and low blood pressure. Ask your rheumatologist about Remicade, or call today.
As the massive recall of Firestone tires comes to an end, a consumer group is calling this week for another, even larger recall, saying there are still tens of millions of potentially dangerous Firestone tires out there. CBS News correspondent Cheryl Atkinson has new information about this tonight.
The report to be released later this week from Public Citizen, a consumer watchdog group, urges federal officials to demand a new recall of 40 million more Firestone tires. It's a direct attack on Ford and Firestone's claim that all the unsafe tires are off the road. The report, obtained by CBS News, primarily blames a weak wedge area of the failed tires for causing the tread to separate. The problem is more likely to surface under harsh conditions, such as hot weather and underinflated tires. But Public Citizen says all Firestone Wilderness tires have precisely the same defect, not just the already recalled 15-inch size made at Firestone's Decatur, Illinois plant.
This counters the position taken by Ford and Firestone that everything is fine, that all the bad tires have been recalled, because we don't believe that they have been.
Public Citizen faults Ford and Firestone for using internal statistics which can't be independently confirmed to justify the limited recall, refusing to consider major litigation claims involving death and injury, consumer complaints, or adjustment records. And the report says 9 in 10 federal complaints about Wilderness tires involve tires that are not being recalled. Ford did replace those Wilderness tires in other countries, Saudi Arabia and 8 other Mideast nations, Malaysia and Thailand, Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador. The expanded recall proposed by Public Citizen, 6 times larger than the one last August, would be catastrophic for Firestone. Ford and Firestone are unwavering in their position that no more tires need to be recalled. And while Ford and Firestone don't entirely agree on what exactly is the problem, they say the public should rest assured that it's been resolved. The final word in all of this, though, will be federal officials who are expected to finish their own investigation in the spring. John?
Cheryl Atkinson in Washington, thanks. Coming up next in the CBS Evening News, trying to plug an Asian drug pipeline that supplies American users.
Hello, America, how are you?
You know, when you eat good, you feel good.
Healthy Choice soups make it easy to feel good.
We're both feeling good.
And now they have a whole new taste that may surprise you. Healthy Choice. Feel good food.
In this place, I see a lot of gas. I also see a lot of folks taking medicines that don't fight gas. But Gas X has the most powerful medicine to relieve gas fast. Nothing I've seen works faster. Gas X beats the bloat fast.
I'm ready, ready as anybody can be. I'm ready, ready as anybody can be, yeah.
Are you ready to ask your doctor about Viagra? Get ready. Ask your doctor if a free sample of Viagra is right for you.
Well, I'm ready for you. I hope you're ready for me.
Are you ready to see yourself as others see you? I didn't know I was so gray. Gray. Now escape that old gray look with new Just for Men. More than a hair color, it's the Rejuvenator. Just for Men shampoos away gray in 5 easy minutes and now has vitamins. It brings back a thicker, healthier look that's completely natural.
I like what I see.
Just for Men. More than a hair color, it's the Rejuvenator.
With Hotmail on your MSN homepage, you can check your email wherever there's a web connection. That's why it's the most popular email the world over.
For millions of years, they've roamed the seas. Now they're dying. What mysterious illness is killing the loggerhead turtle? The story tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Iraq has staged its biggest show of military hardware since the Persian Gulf War in an apparent message to the incoming Bush administration. The 4-hour-long parade featured troops and tanks and sophisticated missile launchers. Firing his rifle into the air, Saddam Hussein reviewed the extravaganza from his presidential box. Iran says it seized almost a ton of smuggled opium and other drugs over the weekend, hidden in a truck carrying fish. Iran has become a major pipeline for drugs smuggled from Afghanistan and destined ultimately for Europe and the United States. CBS News correspondent Tom Fenton in Tehran has more on Iran's uphill struggle to stop the traffickers.
Stop and search operations on Iran's truck routes out of Afghanistan are routine, and so are the daily drug busts. But a bag of raw heroin is the easy part of a war against drugs that Iran claims it is winning. Its agents are responsible for 90% of all opium seizures worldwide, 4,000 tons last year. The mountainous border with Afghanistan is the focus of a battle they have fought for years now, ill-equipped and largely alone. Well-armed Afghan and Pakistani smugglers move thousands of tons of drugs bound for the West. Iran has built concrete barricades and dug trenches to stem the flow of drugs, but smugglers still slip through by using camel trains. Now, Iran has decided to close the border with Afghanistan completely. Despite this impressive display, Police Commander Ali Shafi admits they're only getting a quarter of the traffic. And the battle against the drug lords comes with a high price. Last year, 740 smugglers were killed in shootouts, but 174 Iranian police officers died too, 33 in one day. Ali Farhandi's parents still grieve for their son, but like so many others, they say they are proud he died for a good cause and is now in a martyr's grave. They may be proud that their sons are buried here, close to the shrine of Ayatollah Khomeini, but there's a terrible irony. Most of the drugs seized along the Afghan border are eventually funneled into the Iranian economy. Crooked police and drugs agents are cashing in on Iran's own drug addiction problem. The country has almost 2.5 million drug users who consume 700 tons of drugs a year. So, despite the success of Iran's anti-drugs campaign on the frontier, every seizure of drugs also adds to the problem at home. Tom Fenton, CBS News, Tehran.
In a moment, a new record for a new century, one you don't want to miss.
We are healthy, strong, energetic, even sexy. We drink Ensure when we can't eat nutritious foods like these. Ensure has vitamins and minerals like in vegetables, calcium like in milk, and protein like in fish. From Ensure High Calcium to Ensure High Protein to Ensure Plus, it's a source of complete balanced nutrition, so we can get the most out of life. Ensure, drink to your health. And now Ensure is richer, creamier, and tastes better than ever in delicious new tastes.
Meet Mark. Mark marks. Meet Mark's mom, Peg. Peg pledges. Pledge, Peg, pledge. See Pledge remove Mark's marks? Pledge removes marker marks. Pledge stops crayon marks. Pledge gets very high marks. Everywhere Mark marks. See Peg's parlor shine. Polished, protected, pretty remarkable. No mark, not remarkable. Pledge cleans, conditions, and protects from a world full of marks. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
The other day, I'm driving down Broadway when that pastrami on ride catches up with me. Heartburn big time. My passenger says, "Here, take a Zantac 75. I say, "What are you, a doctor?" And he says, "Yeah."
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer. It relieves even your toughest heartburn, controlling acid for up to 12 hours.
A real gentleman, that doctor.
Zantac 75 for tough heartburn. Doctors know.
There's my husband, Nolan Ryan, still throwing heat. Can you believe he's got arthritis? You see, Nolan's doctor says the best way to control arthritis pain is to keep moving. And to make it easier, he recommends Advil. Nothing's been proven stronger on arthritis pain, yet it's gentle on his stomach. In fact, I take Advil for my arthritis pain. That way, we can exercise together.
Advil, stronger than pain.
The new year starts with a state trooper killed by a hit-and-run driver, and the weather will make the drive to work tomorrow tricky. The story coming up at 6.
Finally tonight, with the new century dawning, we thought it would be worth a final look back at one of the theories that defined the 20th century, that of communism and the domino. So we leave you with the domino theory. From Beijing 2001, a record 3.4 million dominoes, give or take. It took a month to set them all up. It took the laws of nature just a few minutes to knock them all down. In some places, underwater. In others, faster than a speeding locomotive. Designs range from a Van Gogh classic, Starry Night, to the flags of China, Japan, and Korea. A New Year's lesson from the School of Soft Knocks. And that's what's going down on this New Year's Day. For Dan Rather, I'm John Roberts, CBS News in New York. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
What mysterious illness is killing the loggerhead turtle? Tomorrow. Experience CBS News.
Coming up on News Channel 5 at 6, a tragic start to the new year for one Middle Tennessee family. A state trooper was killed by a hit-and-run driver.
Plus, a woman and her young son are found at a neighborhood apartment. Tonight, police are searching for the gunman who shot them.
And look what moved through Middle Tennessee this afternoon, but it wasn't the first snow we saw this new year. Have we seen the last of it tonight? The news begins right here, right now.
From the News Channel 5 Network, this is News Channel 5 at 6. Your